And we just kept talking and we kept bumping into each other. And then she asked me one time, she goes, "Oh, I'm going to do my EFT certification. Can you be like one of the people that I work with?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure." So it started like a week ago. This was our second session. The first one was okay. And then I really went in on the second one with her. And two hours later, we really moved a lot of stuff. It was very, very powerful. It was very deep. She's very good. She did a lot of work, different kinds of stuff. And with the EFT, they do a lot of the eye movements that go along with it.
Yeah, the eye movement.
Yeah. So just like deprogramming with the eyes.
Yeah.
And just tapping, continue to tap and all that. But and even did some regression. Yeah, it was really, really very strong. I wasn't expecting the eye movements. I've done that before, but not in an EFT.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then we just uncovered a lot of stuff, and so really was from my 3-year-old.
What we started in November. Which one's the next one on laws of success?
Oh, hold on. I'll tell you. So after enthusiasm, self-control.
Yeah. You see, here's my volumes. I've
Oh,
got the
wow.
rest of them over there. Yeah. I've got them, the originals.
Wow.
Yeah. And the rest of them are in there. And then which I have the book, the Law of Success book, but it's a little bit different too. Even though it's supposed to be the original,
Yeah.
but it's still not like even these.
Like what do you mean? Like what way?
Well, these are segmented and broken down into
Into like
like
chapters?
one or two lessons per book,
Right.
and um, they're still not in the same order. There's still stuff missing, even though I bought the one that says original Law of
Yeah.
Success in one book.
Yes.
It's still not the same as even this one because you're telling me that that other one that I had wasn't the same.
Yes.
So see, this one's supposed to be the original in the complete version
Yeah.
with the whole book.
Hmm.
So I've read this one and noticed that even it's still different. This one is still different from this one.
So the one, because I've seen the one that you're saying that has like chapters 1 and 2 together, 3 and
Mhm.
4, 5 and 6, whatever, right?
Yeah,
So that's even
it's a little bit different. That's what I'm saying.
okay.
So I am fixing to go live as well.
Okay.
And this is not. Uh-oh. Let's see again.
Recording in progress.
Oh, it looks like we already are. Did it make it in?
I don't know.
I think we already are live.
Yeah.
I don't think it had connected. Let's see. So we are going over the laws of success monthly. And right now we're on self-control. And I am working towards moving this over. Give me 1 second. And I am Do you guys have the book in front of you?
I don't. I
Yeah,
forgot my books.
Okay.
I do, but it's the one that's not complete. So I just ordered it. I'm supposed to be well, I just didn't order it, but it's supposed to get here only on the 14th.
Okay. I got this going, so we can get started. All right. So we're every month we're going over one of the laws of success by Napoleon Hill. I'm giving you guys a little bit of value. On the other side, we're live streaming, and I've been out of the country quite a bit doing research and meeting people that are in business of developing themselves and also their research and development, doctors, scientists, and looking at what they're doing. And I'm working towards collaborating with them and bringing that information together as well in one location. So as that develops, I'll give you all more insight in as that begins to develop. All the knowledge that I research, the information that I go study people. I bring that back for our research as well, and as well as go to place, as well as collaborating with others on the research that I've been doing as well. I'm going to bring it back to the Institute to further advance the people that are here, the people that are coming to class or in our programs. I'm going to get started on self-control. In preceding lesson, you learn of the value of enthusiasm. You also learn how to generate enthusiasm and how to transmit its influence to others through the principle of suggestion. You come now to the study of self-control, through which you may direct your enthusiasm to constructive ends. Without self-control, enthusiasm resembles the unharnessed lightning of an electrical storm. It may strike anywhere. It may destroy life and property. Enthusiasm is the vital quality that arouses you to action, while self-control is the balance wheel that directs your action so that it will build up and not tear down. So enthusiasm is entheos, God within. And as you really understand that word entheos, God within, you're understanding that there's a power from within that it gives life, it gives direction, and it's creating life. Now, here in enthusiasm, we're discussing how this word enthusiasm, the direction of enthusiasm directs energy. Self-control directs your energy. Enthusiasm develops the energy, fulfills the energy. It's releasing towards a projection. When you don't have the self-control of where you're going, your enthusiasm can be mismanaged, misdirected, and not guided or wielded correctly. It could be destructive as well. So here we look at how to direct energy. Can you continually become aware that life is being filtered through your perception? This is the fundamental key to this study on human development, personal development, spiritual development. Can you continually become aware that you are interacting with the reality, but you are using your perception to move into the reality? Can you be so self-poised, self-aware that you understand yourself not as you, but as a living, walking, talking transmission of ideas? This is where the neuroscientists and neuroscience comes to play. This is where the science of the mind comes to play. This is why I study with scientists and doctors and individuals that are studying the mind, the brain, neurology of the brain, and the mind and how it interacts. It interfaces with itself, but it's not itself. What it is a transmission of ideas. You are truly not the self until you decide who you are becoming. Now, a lot of you may say, I've decided my whole life. Of course you have. But you didn't understand that live transmission as you're thinking is truly not you. It is everything that you are programmed to be. And until you really define yourself, and continue redefining yourself, you don't even know who you are. It's rare that I find somebody, listen to me, it is rare that I find somebody that has really consistently been reprogramming who and what they are their whole life. Personal development, spiritual development is rare. It's rare you find somebody going within, searching within, deprogramming what they are continually, consistently to develop a different person, to move out in the world differently, consistently their whole life. Can you continually become aware that life is being filtered through perception and not a true spiritual awareness? What spirit has been doing, or what your essence has been doing, is looking through the filter of perception. It organizes that information to move out into the world. So here you think you've been thinking. This is why every area of your life where you have not been able to go beyond what you know is because that filter, those ideas have been stopping you and you're not aware of it. Every area you're not getting the results you want, you're truly not living the way you want to live, it's because you have moved into a perception, you're identified with the perception, and you keep moving out of the idea, and it's unknown, it's unseen, because it's below the radar, it's below your awareness already. Everything that you have perceived as truth, perceived as what you think you are and what's possible, is not who you are. That is a perception. It is literally the program that you are moving out of, where, like software. Give me 1 second. So here we go to self-control and becoming aware of this perception that you call you. And the perception is not you, because if you were moving off your perception, you're moving off falsehood. Because the true you would be working from a vision all the time. How do I know when a person is stuck, or they're not expressing their true form? When they're not going beyond what they know, when they're not creating life completely different from what they know. How do you know if you're stuck or not? Have you been living the same lifestyle for the last year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, 10 years, 20, 30? You're stuck. All the years that you're still living the same with the same idea, you're stuck in a perception loop. As you think, you're finding and wiring neural pathways. You're finding and wiring ideas. And if you don't go beyond the ideas that you know and that you have, all you're doing is refiring and wiring what you know. And what you know is going to keep delivering the same result. You're either going to work from your perception or you're going to work from a vision. And it's rare that I find somebody consistently creating their own vision of their own reality. And everybody who is doing this eventually gets stuck. Anybody that works with the real vision and they're causing the body to act and behave as it never was, eventually gets to the point where they can't move any further and they don't know how to move further from where they're at. In that space, behind your awareness, are belief systems, fears, doubts, worries. That perception is controlling your behavior. Where there is no vision, perception will continue to prove that it's right. When you're not working with a vision, where there is no vision, perception continues to prevail and unfold your reality. Thoughts, takeaways so far?
How would you define perception?
Let's look it up. Always look for the etymology of words when you're looking for words. If you really start to look at consciousness enters, but it moves into a filtered system. And as it's being filtered through those programs. What programs? The programs of the DNA, all those family members that were not you, that's information, data. As it's getting filtered out, consciousness is being filtered out. It's less God awareness, less higher awareness, more DNA programmed awareness. So you're going through the filtering of the DNA. It's being, your consciousness is being reduced down to become conscious because it's being filtered through the information of the DNA and also being filtered through the environmental programming and everything you heard, you heard, you saw, you touched, you smelled when you were growing up. So then you moved out of all of that information and then you interface reality. Consciousness interfaces reality. It enters the face, begins to organize all of that information, thinking that is that. It thinks it's a perception, and there's a problem. And then it views the world from that state, and then it organizes ideas to move out into the world, even to individualize itself. Everything that it's doing is organizing information. Go ahead with, let's look at what perception in the definition of perception is.
Okay, so perception refers to the way a person interprets and experiences love through their emotions, beliefs, and personal history.
Let's say it again. Repeat it again.
Okay, perception refers to the way a person interprets and experiences love through their emotions, beliefs, and personal history. Perception, okay, perception in amatology means how you see and understand love, what it means to you, how you recognize it, and how your mind and heart interpret loving actions of relationships. Example, two people may receive the same gesture, a hug, but one perceives it as comfort, while the other may see it as pity. This difference in perception reveals how love is filtered through one's experiences and inner world. I can't hear you. Is it only me?
No, you're good.
Okay.
I was talking to my son. We're getting ready for school.
Okay.
So here we go back to you register everything you registered is perceiving love, relationships, everything that we think is coming from our perception. Where does our perception come from? From everything we're programmed with. You want to read it one more time? Maybe you can teach me something on it?
Sure. Perception refers to the way a person interprets and experiences love.
Okay,
Their
stop.
Yeah.
How does that happen? How are they experiencing love?
Through feeling of how everybody else is making, how they're receiving it.
Yeah. But
Right?
they have to, you cannot know love until you've experienced love. So here's the issue with looking at words and information. We're normally not looking at the backboard of information or the foundation of it. So if you're going to interpret love, I want to know what love is. I can't know what love is unless I've been taught love. Would you agree?
Yes.
So
Yes.
you cannot know how to swing a ball until somebody's taught you swing the ball, swing a
Right.
bat.
Yeah,
It's
it's
a
just a
ball.
word. Yeah.
It's just the word. It means nothing. It's a non-entity. Words are not, they're non-entities unless you know the mechanism, the movement behind it. So let's read this again. So nobody taught this in school. Let's read, but you've got to read the positioning it puts you at as an onlooker, but you also have to look at the positioning that it was created to become an onlooker. You go to a game you've never seen or understood. You don't understand the rules. You don't understand what it is or what's happening. You have to learn the what it means to interact with what the play is. So let's read this again.
Okay, perception refers to the way a person interprets and experiences love through their emotions, beliefs, and personal history.
Okay, so they're going to experience love through the history. So the only thing that you know is what was perceived from the beginning. So as you evaluate love today, you're going to judge love from what you were taught what love is. This is why when a male and a female get together,
Mhm.
and each one of them says, "You don't love me." Well, you don't love me. Well, you don't love me. Why? Because when they're in love, true love, that means they're in resonance and harmony. That means they're both really looking at each other. They're really engaged with each other. They're really they're really serving, expressing themselves. They want to be every part of their lives. As they go into their subconscious, they go back to what they know. So their awareness begins to drop and they begin to go back to what they were taught. So then they say, well, you weren't like that before. Well, you weren't like that before. Of course not. Because when they were in love, they were consciously making choices and decisions to interact with each other. But as you move to the subconscious, after you start to be with the person for a while, 6 months later, 1 year later, or you move in, they go into autopilot and you actually start to really know them. You're starting to learn their true nature of how they were programmed to show love or interact with a loved one. Or you're starting to move into what they're characterized as love or marriage or boyfriend or girlfriend. So as they move into the subconscious, you start to meet how he saw his father treat a mother, or the mother saw he saw his mother treating the father, and then how they treated each other, and they called that love. So then you may gauge love from the way you saw your mother and father interact that taught you what love means, husband and wife, or boyfriend and girlfriend, whatever that is, you're going to judge him from that. And if he doesn't act that way, you're going to say, well, you don't love me. You're not going to feel loved because you're judging it from the past of what you were taught. And he may say, well, you don't love me. I've heard people say this. Well, their parents, their mother would get up and cook the meal for everybody and do all the things in the morning. And they said, well, you don't cook for me in the morning and you don't do these things. That's love for me. So here we judge everything from our backboard. What is our backboard? Our software. You're going to judge everything in life from your software. The software is what? What you were taught what love means, what a father means, what a mother means. And if the father or mother was missing, well, when it comes time for you to be a parent, you may always find that you're having missing relationships or not have one or the other. Or their parents, you're the person you find didn't have one or the other. We attract everything that we're missing. Or we even push away everything that we were missing. Where are we getting our feedback from? The base knowledge that we grew up in. Are you starting to see the intricacy?
What I see is there's a real misconception, like the
Oh,
word
no.
love. Okay, there's the word love, and a lot of we get confused with love
Sure.
and taking care of
Oh, yeah.
somebody. So the person that was having, like, you're having breakfast, whatever, and then he doesn't receive the breakfast, says you don't love me. To me, it's that's caring for somebody. There's a big difference between loving somebody and caring, and there's a
Yeah,
big confusion
sure.
with those, right?
But again, we learned that from who?
What we were taught.
There you go.
Right, right.
So
So
nobody ever taught us how to think.
right.
Nobody ever taught us how consciousness works, the mind works. High psychology, nobody ever taught us these things. So you're learning how to think right now. You're learning how positioning or ideas or perceptions is actually positioning you in life or in everybody. It positions us all to view the world from that perception if we're not aware. All results are self-imposed. Whether we're aware of it or not. All positioning, all of our results are self-imposed. We're normally not aware what has positioned us. We moved into information, the information positioned us. After that, it's self-imposed, not from the real self. It's the old self-perception, the old cognitive functions, the old way of thinking, that self. That's not the real you. The real you has a higher awareness. And that's why the real you or the higher you or spiritual you is always pushing you to go beyond what you know. You come now to the study of self-control, through which you may direct your enthusiasm to constructive ends. Without self-control, enthusiasm resembles the unharnessed lightning of an electrical storm. It may strike anywhere. It may destroy life and property. Enthusiasm is the vital quality that arouses you to action, while self-control is a balance wheel that directs your action so that it will build up and not tear down. To become a person who is well balanced, you must be a person in whom enthusiasm and self-control are equalized. A survey which I have just completed of the 160,000 adult inmates of the penitentiaries of the United States disclosed that the startling fact that 92% of these unfortunate men and women are in prison because they lack the necessary self-control to direct their energies constructively. Read the foregoing paragraph again and again. It is authentic and it is startling. It is a fact that the majority of man's griefs come about through lack of self-control. The Holy Scriptures are full admonition in support of self-control. They even urge us to love our enemies and to forgive those who injure us. The law of non-resistance runs like a golden cord throughout the Bible or religions. Study these records of those whom the world calls great and observe that every one of them possesses his quality of self-control. For example, study the characteristics of our own immortal Lincoln. In the midst of his most trying hours, he exercised patience, poise, and self-control. There were some of the qualities which made him the great man he was. He found disloyalty in some of the members of his cabinet, but for the reason that the disloyalty was toward him personally, and because those in whom he found it had qualities which made them valuable to his country. Lincoln exercised self-control and disregarded the objectionable qualities. How many men do you know who have self-control to equal this? In language more forceful than it was polished, Billy Sunday explained from the pulpit, there is something as rotten as hell about the man who is always trying to show some other fellow up. However, self-control becomes an important factor in the reading course of the law of success, not so much because the lack of it works hardships on those who become its victims, as for the reason that those who do not exercise it suffer the loss of a great power, which they need in their struggle or in their direction towards achieving their own personal, definite chief aim. Lack of self-control creates hardships and become its victim. What is the victim? Someone that is being controlled by a perception that no longer serves them. Where did all the inmates learn to not have control of the direction they're going? Lack of visioneering. lack of focus, not learning how to give and receive, receive and give. This is all taught. If you're raising a child in impoverished areas, they're normally going to learn how to take or want to take before they learn how to give, because nobody taught them how to serve. We could teach people how to earn more money faster than they could take it. If they learn how to earn money and if they learn principles, they'll learn how to earn more than what they were even getting. Self-control, enthusiasm. Everything that we are taught, it was passed down. Those who do not exercise suffer the loss of great power, which they need for achievement of their definite chief aim in life. Everybody has a definite chief aim. You may walk the streets and ask them what is their definite chief aim. Their definite chief aim started to fall apart at some point in their life when they began to think that everything was not possible. But everybody has a definite chief aim. Everybody wants something. There's not one person in life that does not want a better life. Somewhere along the line, they began to not believe in themselves. That's a perception. Because again, God gave us a gift, which is consciousness. It's been reduced down and it's been filtered and it's plugged up. That's the problem. When we cannot see through the filters, we look through the filter and we think we're their filter. The filter is perceptions. As energy moves in through the neurons, energy is spirit. Spirit, I've gone with scientists, I've gone with doctors. We can see this wave of energy flowing through the body. But as this wave is flowing, it is flowing through that memory. And if it consistently moves through that memory, it thinks it's the memory. We have to understand that we are not the transmission. We are not our ideas. The ideas were giving to us. In the classes we teach, everything I teach is to help people to go beyond that transmission, to understand you are not the transmission. But if you keep moving into the transmission, you keep moving into the self-projected ideas of who you think you are today. If you could step back and observe an idea, witness it, you are no longer the transmission. Right now, I want you to think. Can you let K9 in? If you can step back and look at your ideas, not as you, but as a transmission. How many times have you see the chatter in your mind? Chatter, 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 chatter. It's always chattering. Can you step back and know that that's not you? Go ahead and try to stop it. Go ahead and try to slow it down. I've researched and developed techniques to slow that down, to separate yourself from the transmission, so that you can become aware that the transmission is not you, because what is you is perfect. And the truth is, what's been silent all this time is the higher you from within. That's actually been entangling with the transmission and then thinking from that transmission. Here's the issue with so many people they didn't know, is that your spirit keeps entangling with the information it moves into, and it thinks. And if you do not go beyond that transmission, you stay with the transmission. You stay with your forecasted area of events. You stay with everything that you thought you are. And you think, and you stay stuck with everything that you're not. You're not who you think you are, you're who you think you're not. So the average individual never goes beyond what they think they're not. Well, I don't think I can do this. I don't think I can have that. I don't have this. Why? Because I don't think I can. Look at every area of your life where you don't have something. It's because you don't think it's possible to have that. That's a belief. That's a perception. Every area in your life where you don't have what you want, that is a self-imposed belief that you've taken on as your own. Otherwise, you would have it. What has been restricting you? What has been stopping you from having the lifestyle you want? On the backside of it, it is a self-imposed belief that doesn't allow you to see beyond that belief. Because if you did believe, you would have it. If you did believe, you would be aware of how to get it. When you go beyond the word believe, you go to knowing. You don't need to know how to get a car right now. The average individual in the US, almost everybody knows how to get a car. Even the most cheapest one or used one, they know how to get a car. But there's some countries they don't know how to get a car at all. Why would you not know? Some of you may think, well, how is it they don't know how to get a car? Because there isn't a belief that is obstructing them and they don't know how to get a car. Every area of your life where you don't have, or you see somebody have something beyond what you have, is because there's the perception not allowing you to have that. There's a belief system hardwired in you that's not allowing you to know how to achieve that. This is where we get into deprogramming and reprogramming so that you can go beyond what you know. And if you're not working towards having the things that you desire, you're being self-imposed by belief system and a perception. That's takeaway so far.
Awareness.
Thoughts, takeaways. Yeah. That was the gift I got Aurelius when we were in Cusco. Yep. Thoughts, takeaways. Any other aha moments?
Carmen just said awareness, but it's the awareness of the awareness.
The awareness of the awareness.
You got to be aware of the awareness that you have. Otherwise,
Yeah.
the rest of your life, you're going to be stuck. Look at every area of your life that you don't have what you want. You're not experiencing what you want. It's because that is a self-imposed perception that you're not aware of.
But that goes across the board. It's not only financial, it's relationships.
It's everything.
It's everything.
Literally everything.
Everything.
Okay.
This is why personal development, spiritual development is you can only try to develop that person to go as far as his belief will get him. People find me when they know they can't go beyond that person. It's got to be reprogrammed. You can push that person all you want, but you're going to get to the point where that person can no longer go where you want it to go. And that's where spiritual development comes in. You got to deprogram that program because that person, that human personality, cannot go beyond itself anymore. It's gone as far as its beliefs will take them.
What?
Carmen, I think you were going to say something.
Yeah, I'm just trying to figure out the length of, let's say, addicts, right? So they have absolutely no self-control. It's not a chemical, and because it's an automatic, it's seconds, right? A seconds when they go to their whatever they're addicted to, right?
Mhm.
So you're saying that in the middle of self-control and addiction, there's awareness.
Look at the table. Son.
What's in between? What are they missing that when they are going to go for that drug, right? And it's like seconds they go for that, for what they want. What's in between? It's not a chemical imbalance. Like how?
Well, it's one that the information they're ingesting is changing their molecular biofeedback. So before they even think or say anything, and there's that energy's not in there. Go sit down, please. Finish your breakfast. We're going to have to go to school. That energy is already self-inducing them to want more of that energy, and it's telling them what to do. So the body is now convinced that it needs that and it wants to feel that. So even though it's not talking to them internally, it's talking to them, and it's telling the brain to go grab that drug
Okay, so
and feel it again.
So the word in between self-control and addiction is they're using enthusiasm, but they're using it wrong. Am I right? Or
Can you read where you're talking about?
okay, well, you have because I'm trying to figure out the link between self-control and addiction, right?
Yeah.
So by what you said, if I understand,
enthusiasm would be you've got to be more enthusiastic beyond the drug to go beyond that drug already. You've got to get so emotionally involved that your consciousness tells the body what to do, so the body telling the consciousness what to do, because you've already programmed the body to tell the mind what to do. And that's also why if there was an addict, the mother was an addict, and they have a child, the child already has the addiction in the blood. The addictions already want to call the child to go and find that addiction and bring it back to itself, because that's already controlling the behavior before the child is even born. That information is already in the DNA. Later on, that child is growing up. Eventually, he's going to go find that frequency, its information, and they're going to start doing the same thing that the mother was doing.
So it's not even
It's memory. It's information.
yeah, it's physical. It's a physical reaction. It's not a mental, or not even mental. It's not a spiritual awareness.
Well, spiritual is getting entangled with memory. Spirit entangles the memory, and it awakens the memory, and it begins to think. Spirit entangles with addiction, and it awakens the addiction. Spirit entangles with partying, and it wants to go party. Spirit goes into dancing, and it wants to go dance. Spirit goes into seeing relationships and wants to go experience relationships. Spirit goes into watching a child or somebody picking up a cup, and the little child wants to pick up a cup. Spirit moves into a memory and then wants to fulfill the memory. So depending on how emotional the memory was and how stimulating the memory was to the body wants to feel it again.
So you're tapping into a frequency. You're tapping.
A memory is frequency. Frequency of memories is a dial tone. Memory is on a frequency. So that's why you got to go experience it again.
So the vibration exists in the blood, in the DNA.
Correct.
And whatever, something may trigger that vibration.
And then it moves you, and it moves your body to want to go experience that.
And then depending on the frequency of that vibration, then you can go really high and have this addiction, or you can just try to manage it.
Correct. It just depends on how emotional that frequency is, that it induces your body to want to go and do it again. Let's look at, some of you have probably been where you move into an environment and you hear music back when you were in your 18 years old, 16, 17, 18 years old. And then you start to move and then you're like, what, I don't like that song anymore. I don't like that. But it's your body started to move towards that memory and you started to think of that memory, right?
Yes.
So that, again, that's movement from the memory and frequency. Let's say that you're used to doing something every Friday night, Saturday night. By Thursday, you're already starting to image make what you want to go experience again on Friday or Saturday.
Yeah.
By Friday and Saturday, you're already organizing
Sure.
to experience again the Friday and Saturday of what you've been triggered emotionally over and over and over again. People don't know that they're being moved by past memory. And that's why the average individual does not go beyond what they do. I remember watching people take vacation. They would use that word vacation once a year. And those people around me that didn't take vacation, and sometimes we didn't take a vacation. That word vacation. And that word vacation can mean so many different things to so many different people. But even the word vacation to me is stuck.
Yeah.
That means you're going to go experience something to get away from your state of being. You're taking time to get away from your state of being. So that means you're working all year to go to do something to get away from.
Yeah, exactly.
For me, we should be taking the time off when we want, whenever we want, not to get away, but to experience life in a different, to experience a different lifestyle, to experience a different thing. I don't use the word vacation. I take time to go experience different things.
Yeah.
Why not go experience things once a month, every month? Why not go every other week, go experience something different? Why not go every 2 weeks and go to a different country? You go experience the food there. Why? Because our perception doesn't allow us. Beliefs do not allow us to align us with that reality so that we may experience it. This is the truth. We are experiencing life according to the conditioning, way of thinking that we grew up in.
Yeah.
And that's all perception. And until we're willing to continually become aware that life is being filtered through our perception. Until you're if you're not willing to understand that your life is being filtered through your perception, if you don't want to understand that, you will continue to live the life of your perception. I teach people how to go beyond that perception, how to see what's unseen, how to find what's holding you back. I see we are at our time. Any other thoughts, takeaways? You guys that are watching this, you guys have an opportunity to invest in yourself. You can go beyond where you're at. I can show you how to get there. Any other thoughts, takeaways? We do this every day. Just the way you go work out, you should do a mental workout.
I mean, this is huge for people who've never heard of this. This is like almost like a slap in the face of like, are you or are you living your programs? And
Yeah, it's huge for anybody. And if you have heard of it, it should be really huge. And if you're not doing something about it, it should be even huger, because that means you're not going anywhere different today. And if you don't change a day, next week, next month, next year, how many more years do you have in this plane? That'll all be the same. All right, guys. Thank you, guys. Have a blessed day. Winning, winning,
Thank
winning.
you.
How does it feel?
wonderful.
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 Wonderful. Wonderful. Everybody have a wonderful day. Thank you.